Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Yesterday we finished reading I Survived the Shark Attacks of 1916. Some of you have commented and told me that you enjoyed it. I'm so glad. Um, Yesterday we finished filling in our sticky notes and talking about all the summaries for each chapter, and then we talked about how all those chapters fit together to provide the overall structure of the story. And today we're going to be talking about summary of the whole book. So when we summarized just each chapter, it was like one sentence per chapter. But if we were to put all that together, that would be a really long summary. And when we summarize, it's supposed to be short and to the point. It's not supposed to be really long. So let's talk about how we should summarize a book. Now, when we summarize a passage, a lot of times this year we've been trying to do it in like 1 to 2 sentences because that's how it would look on the EOG. But when you summarize a book, it's to get enough information, it's kind of hard to do it in 1 to 2 sentences. So when we think about summarizing a whole book, think more like paragraph length, okay? So first, in the beginning of your summary, you want to introduce the major characters and establish the setting. So really, you just want to tell who your characters are and what your setting is. Then in the middle of your summary, you want to tell what the problem is, what's going on in the book that is the problem of the story. And then in the end, you tell how that problem is solved or resolved. Okay, so I went ahead and wrote it out for us. We could talk about it. And in the very beginning, remember you want to introduce. So Chet Roscoe is living in Elm Hills, New Jersey with his Uncle Jerry and working at his uncle's diner. So right there, we get who is the main character. Then we've also got the character Uncle Jerry. Then we've got the setting, Elm Hills, New Jersey, and just a little more background information. He's working at his uncle's diner. And then I also put he has made a few friends, Dewey, Monty, and Sid. Now, I didn't bring up mom and dad because they are important in the story, but they're not so important that you have to have them in here to make the story make sense. So you could include mom and dad and why Chet is living with Uncle Jerry, but I didn't in my summary. So I've introduced the characters in this setting. Then you want to talk about your problem. So there are rumors of shark attacks happening on the coast, which has never happened before. So that's a big problem because this is new to everybody in the town. The boys prank Chet into thinking there's a shark in the creek, and he tries to get them back with the prank but takes it too far, so the boys are in an argument. This is important because this whole story, one of the biggest things is their friendship. Yes, it's about the shark attacks, but it also talks a lot about the boys' friendship, right? So that is very important to include in your summary. And then resolve. One day, Chet is in the creek and sees an actual shark. Nobody believes him, but he goes back to warn the boys. He jumps in and saves Sid, but he gets bitten in the leg. Chet is okay, and the boys apologize to each other and become friends again. So that kind of wraps everything up. That's how the story ends. He sees the shark. Nobody believes him, but he goes to warn the boys anyway. And then he jumps in to save Sid, but he gets bitten in the leg, which leads to the boys coming to the hospital. And then they apologize and all become friends. So that is how the story is resolved. Did I go into every single little detail for this? No, I stuck to the really big events. So then when you put it all together, it's just one paragraph. And we always want to make sure we indent our paragraphs. So it's just one decent sized paragraph. And it's about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sentences. So, I usually say a good fifth grade paragraph is about 5 sentences. But this is a little bit longer because I wanted to make sure I got all the important events. And when you read this summary, you would get pretty much everything that was in the book, all the important events. You would understand what this book was about without having read it yourself. And that's what your summary should be. And that's why I always say, like, when you retell a book to your parents, you should tell them enough that they know what the book is about without having read it yourself. And that really proves that you have understood and comprehended the book. Okay? One, two. All right, so also with our standard that covers summary, which is RL.2, it also covers themes. So we did talk about this a little bit before. We talked about how Chet was responding to his problems that he was coming across in the story. Well, what lesson do you think Chet had learned by the end of the book? Because remember, a theme is the message. So if you have the word theme, remember we wrote the, oh, we can't see that, the message. And now you won't see it on the what? Message. This is really hard to write with. So if you split that, the message, you can see the word theme inside the message. So what message did you get from this story? Well, I definitely think that this story has a huge theme of friendship and how important friendship is. I kind of got by the end of it. Good friends are always there for each other. Because by the end of the story, even though they had all argued and played pranks on each other and gotten mad at each other, they were there for each other. Chet went and saved Sid, and then they didn't give up on Chet, and they helped pull him out of the water and then visited him in the hospital. So that to me was the biggest theme that stuck out. If you can think of any other themes, any other things that Chet might have learned or something maybe you learned from the book as the reader, then comment on our Google Classroom post or email me. Let me know. Think about it some. What do you think he learned? Have you ever been in a similar situation and you learned something like this? Let me know. And I will see you tomorrow, and we'll keep talking about our book a little bit more. Bye.